Trains hum like whispers in the olive trees. The moon spills silver on the Aegean seas. Fingers dance, chasing notes that never
I will be
freeze.
your tour guide for this very interesting tour we have today. I am Greek. I am a licensed guide. My name is Xenia. Xenia. Nothing to do with Xena, the princess warrior, nothing to do with it. Xenia. Our driver's name is Andrew. Very good driver. To be a driver in Athens, especially to drive a big bus like this, is not a piece of cake. Well, not today, because the Athenians, they stay home, because you see there was an alarm. Don't go out unless it is necessary because of the bad weather. But, it is a big city with 4.5 million people and 2 million cars. And everybody knows the Greeks are not the best drivers in Europe. They drive, they see a friend, they stop the car, they put alarm, and then you have to wait. Anyway, he's a very good driver. And Piraeus, of course, it is I have to tell you, for us, the guides and the drivers, mask is mandatory because we speak loud. Not for you. If you want, you can have a mask, but it's not mandatory for you. It is mandatory for me, just for your protection. Anyway, we have tests every week, but in the bus, mask is mandatory. So, Piraeus, it is the number one port of Greece, the central port of Greece. It is huge. You see everything on your left are the gates for the flying dolphins, hydrofoils, sea jets, ferry boats going on the islands. There are actually 10 gates and 3 terminals for the big cruise ships like yours. And then to the west, which is a huge area for the cargo services. So Piraeus today, it is the third most important port in the Mediterranean after Marseille of France and Alexandria of Egypt, which is the second. So Piraeus, it is the third. And not only today, but even in ancient times, Piraeus was the number one port in the Mediterranean. So the program of this 4 hours tour we have today starts with a city tour, meaning we're going downtown, city center, and we're going to see the highlights, like the stadium of the first modern Olympics, the Parliament House, the Athenian Trilogy. This is another stadium, you see. All those stadiums were built the year 2004, when Greece had the Olympics. The year 1896, they organized in Athens the first Olympics. 11 countries participated, 11 nations, 8 from Europe, 2 from the States, 1 from Australia. Well, today there are 250 nations participating, and the athletes that first time were only 230. Now is about 15 to 20,000. And the athletic events were like in ancient times: racing, wrestling, jumping, discus, javelin throwing, and the pentathlon. Penta in Greek means 5, so pentathlon means 5 athletic events. The only sport which was added for the first time in Athens was the marathon race. They don't exist today. So this is the highest hill of Athens, 260 meters above sea level, and on the top it is a little church a little chapel to Saint George. You know, Saint George is a very popular saint of Greek Orthodox Church. He's always represented as a young man on a horse killing the dragon. Good versus evil, a hero. And there is a cable car, a telepherique going there. I just can't tell you how nice it is. You know, the panoramic view, there is a very nice restaurant. It is a very beautiful place. The Acropolis of Athens, it is not the highest place. Acropolis, I have to explain to you what is the meaning of the name. Acropolis, it is not the name of a monument. No, it is the Greek word for the castle, fortification, upper city, because it is the word akron. Akron, like we say acrophobia, like we say acrobat. Akron is the edge, high point. Polis is the city. And you know, it is from the word polis that we have today the word politics. But you know, those days, politics had nothing to do with politics are today. Those days, the 5th century BC, politics was the duty of the citizens to love the city, work for the city, participate, and love the other citizens. So a politician man was always a very kind person who was really working for the city. There is a bronze statue in front of you. This is Alexander the Great. Alexander of Macedonia was only 19 years old when he became the king of Macedonia, and he was in Athens on his way to Egypt. As for the program, you know, now we go to the National Museum, which is really the best in Greece. I have to tell you, you need a week to see that museum. Of course, today we're going to see the highlights, the masterpieces of the museum. The visit will be an hour and 15 minutes, approximately. And then, on our way back, we stop again at the city center, where you can have a photo stop or a coffee shop or stop for half an hour if you want.
Ooh, I wonder what's for dinner. It's our last night on the boat, I bet. I'm gonna have to recreate some of this move with crew.
Είμαι εγώ, θα έρθω σε λίγο. Κάτσε Γιώργο, γιατί δεν είχε το προσωπικό. Εγώ μου έπαθαμε κόσμο εδώ στη λίστα εδώ για να έρθω να συζητήσω.
Thank you.
The first signs of human habitation on the Acropolis here date back to 3,500 BC, but it was not an organized habitation, it was a sporadic habitation, nomadic habitation. They were living in the caves on the Acropolis here. The first signs of organized habitation date back to 1500 BC. This is when one of the three prehistoric civilizations that flourished in what we nowadays call Greece, the Mycenaeans, had their mansions. There were three prehistoric civilizations that flourished in what we nowadays call Greece. When we talk about prehistoric civilizations in Greece, we talk about the Bronze Age, roughly from 3000 to 1100 BC. The first civilization was the Minoan civilization that flourished in the island of Crete. There was also the Cycladic civilization that flourished in the Cyclades, and the Mycenaean civilization that flourished in mainland Greece. We are in Attica Peninsula, we're in Athens, we're in mainland Greece. The Mycenaeans were here during the Bronze Age, and they have chosen the hill of the Acropolis as their settlement, as their place where they had their kings around that term. It was not a king, the actual name was Anax. It was the residence of the central personality of this society, and there was also the place where they were storing their agricultural surplus for three reasons. The first reason is that obviously we are on an elevated area. You can see how this offers ample views to the surrounding land that they were cultivating. They were also able to see any invader, so they could prepare in good time. The Acropolis here is very steep. All the slopes of the Acropolis here are very vertical, are very steep. Only the west